All right. Happy New Year. Merry New Year. New Year. Same old me. Lots of dumb jokes on the queue. So and we got the googly eye still working. I hope you had a Merry New Year. There was lots of fireworks. Oh, by the way, this is my Forrest Whitaker eye. That's uh is he still alive, Forrest Whitaker? We like him. I don't. I don't know if I could say we like him, but certainly I like him. We being me and my wife, because that's how it gets after a while. When you're married for a while, you just say things like that. You can. We Paul Giamatti. Oh, we love Paul Giamatti. Oh yeah, we loved him. Cinderella Man. He was great. You know. Stevie 76 is in here. Happy New Year. I know. Got the Texas football game going on. You got hangovers happening. There's a lot probably going on in the world on January 1st. The least important of which is this live stream. But so I'm glad you guys can make it. And I hope you had a rocking new year and you're feeling good. Um, yeah. On that front of the Wii, like it's getting ridiculous. We've always been in alignment with certain things like even like sitting down at restaurants. We're across from each other. We have a strong belief in sitting across from each other. Some couples, they go adjacent, and then other couples, they'll go same side. That's kind of weird, I think, when they sit right next to each other, parallel. No, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we sit across from each other, and there's a feeling like that's the right thing to do. So that's what we do it. So all right. So this is the first of the live streams that we're kicking off this year for Running Shoe Talk. We're here to talk running shoes, mostly running shoes. Um, Inevitably, I will tangent. I will tangent right off this planet, probably to Mars with Elon, where we will coexist and drive cyber trucks. To where? I don't know, but we would definitely have cyber trucks on Mars. Probably to Jupiter. That's where we would go because that's like the next logical step after Mars, I think. The big J. And I'm for it because I'm from Texas and Jupiter seems like it's the Texas of the solar system, if that makes any sense. And um, anyway, yeah. So, case in point, I will tangent right off this planet. But we are here mostly to talk running shoes and I want to make this like a community driven place. So by 2026, there will be a lot of people here on Wednesdays and Saturdays talking about their experience in shoes. So the cheese may the tea will be shared by all. That's the idea. Throughout the live streams, there will be running shoe topics. Now, if you can't make it in for these Wednesdays or Saturdays, it's okay because you can listen on your run later, but not live. If you're just completely bored out of your mind, I think that would be reasonable. I would listen to it because all I do is listening to running shoe content or running content when I go on my easy runs. For example, today it was there was some Joanna, there was some Dick Bear, there was some Doctors of Running. It's just the algorithm knows me, and so anyway, today's topic, there's many, but one of them is going to be running shoes. I'm going to race in 2025. So I don't know if you, when you watch or when you sign up for races, if you know what race shoe you're going to be wearing. I don't think about that until probably the week of. It's like, what shoes am I going to pack for this race? I guess I should have put some more thought into it. And I didn't really have to think about it for a long time because Alpha Fly 1 existed and I owned three pairs. It sounded like I own three pairs of the Alpha Fly 1. So, like, but that was like the go to shoe. And I could never I marveled at Kafuzi being able to just pick a different super shoe for each race he ran. That was like pretty amazing to me to think about. But this year, I'm going to pre-select and then probably change my mind 7 times before race day for what race day shoe that I'm going to do. So I was curious if you guys, drop in the comments if you're listening to this now or later, but not live, if you put a lot of thought into it and you know what you're going to race in. So I have a half marathon in a few weeks, and it's going to be the Austin International Half. It's a point to point, it's a hilly course, it's all downhill, but I'm leaning towards the Rocket X2. The other candidates would be the Puma Fast R Elite, the Wave Rebellion Pro 2, the Endorphin Elite. Because I need something with a heel, I think, to catch me. It's a lot of downhill barreling. But then I had this crazy idea. What if I ran a half marathon in the Adidas Takumi Sen 10? And that's a very scary idea. And I mentioned this before in the channel somewhere. I had this buddy growing up, Derek, and he used to just call me Big Nuts. So I'd see him, he'd be like, "What's up, Big Nuts? What's up, Big Nuts?" And running a half marathon in the Takumi Sen seems like a very Big Nuts kind of thing to do. And so I just Stevie76 is in here saying D's nuts. He says it'll be cool if you did a video running through all the tourist sites of San Antonio, the Alamo, Riverwalk, Missions, etc. That would be cool, actually. I just have to find the time to get away from the family to drive down there to do it for a run. Usually, I'm running through my neighborhood quickly just for time efficiency purposes. Panos is in here. He says, Happy New Year. Just got in from my run after work. Awesome, Panos. That's a way to break in the new year. I had 9 miles today. Well, 70 minutes anyway, and ended up being 9 miles. I ran in not the Primex Strong. We're just keeping that thing going. It's getting close to 800 miles. I think we're maybe one run or two away from that. So, but it felt good. It feels like what the North Yankees call fall, but for us, it's winter. This nice, cool temps. Breaking in the new year. I don't really do all of the annual mileage goals. I know Floberg was posted a video. He's disappointed he didn't hit his mileage goals. I'm seeing a lot on the socials, hitting 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, all those mileage goals. It just kind of lands where it lands, I guess. I don't have that as like some goal. I don't know what it means if you run that much. Like what's the difference between 3,500 or 3,000 or 2,500? I mean, you ran more, maybe you're fitter, but I just it doesn't have any appeal to me. It doesn't compute in my small brain. So I don't I don't go for it. It's not a carrot I chase. But anyway, I will say if I do, guys, if I run the Austin International in the Takumi Sen 10, I'm gonna change the name of this channel to Big Nuts. I got to. The midlife runner is gonna go, and we're dealing with. I might just run Boston in it next, just because we're on a roll. But that is the next race. So for Boston, I have a feeling March is my birthday month. Well, my birthday is in March, and I'm probably going to get some new shoes. And the Adios Pro 4 is an option, and the Endorphin Elite V2 is an option. If the Elite 2 isn't sold out, I don't really trust Saucony to have inventory or stock purposes. I just have a feeling that everyone's going to be on it because of the cush of the heel on that, and everyone loved the V1. So I worry that there may not be enough inventory left, but I definitely want to get that shoe. I'm very interested in it. The sleeper choice that I'm thinking about is that Cloud, the On Cloud Boom Strike. LS. I don't know. It's just a bunch of words. But people say it is the most Alpha Fly-esque of super shoes. The Alpha Fly one, it's kind of more reminiscent of that. I just can't bring myself to pay that much money for like the On shoe based on my experience with the On Cloud Eclipse. I know it's not fair for On, but we'll see. Stevie76 says, when I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. Yeah, that is definitely gonna be, I know for a fact, part of my 1,000-mile review for the Primex Strung. So we're getting there, but it's one day at a time. Today I posted a video on the other channel, this Zone One, and I've been working with chat. That's why I'm calling Chat GPT. I'm working with chat. I'm like, hey, I need a funny name for this video because it's about Zone One, and Zone One's boring. And he's like, heard it is. Nobody wants to watch that video, so here's some funny titles that you could call it. And I was like, great, let's roll with that. And then this Sunday, Chris Sagasu, Nike Yoda. The interview with him is coming out this Sunday. And then I'm going to do more interviews this year. And I'm going to include not just other running YouTubers, I'm going to involve coaches and also some elite type of runners if I can convince them to talk to me. And I think I'm going to lean in more into like the humorous format. It's kind of like everybody already, hey, you okay? You ran to Japan, what got you into running? And then you've already seen the interview. Like if I interviewed somebody like a Des Linden or someone who's really fast, you've already heard their origin story. You know how they got those adamantium claws. It's like boring at this point. We gotta know something a little bit more amusing, I think so. Anyways, by the way, I'm realizing these glasses aren't helping this googly eye. So it's just getting worse. I might need some surgery. They say like not all who wander are lost, but however, a great many of those who wander are lost. And some of those never get found. And I fear that my eye ain't coming back. It's just one day is gonna slide around the skull, and then I got an eye patch. Next thing you know, what happened to your eye? They say, oh, not all who wander are lost, but we never found him. It never came back. So MIA. It's going to be this googly eye. Stevie76 says, what is Sagasu's daytime job? Well, Stevie, I could tell you, but then you wouldn't watch the video. You'd be like, I know what that guy does. I think he is in product design and marketing. So I think he also works a lot in the design. So like his slides, I think that he does that. That is part of what he does in his daytime job, which is why he does them. And they're much appreciated. He had a video on the Zoom Fly 6 that I watched today, and it had the historical timeline of the Zoom Fly in correlation to the releases of the Alpha Fly and the Vaporfly, which I found to be really cool. Pando sits in here, he says product design or something like that. Yeah, I think it's product design, which is why he is so interested in what the aim of these shoes are when they come out, what is the intent, how well do they do it, the marketing. So Stevie76 says, does that mean you have good peripheral vision? You would think with this eye going Forrest Whitaker over there, but I'm letting my eye wander right now. And no, I can't see over there, but it just looks like when I'm looking at forward gets almost double vision or kind of blurry, which is why I wear glasses. It's been like that my whole life. It's genetic. And so I had a surgery when I was in the third grade, maybe. and they strengthened the muscle in it. And for my whole life, then I didn't need it. And so I forget what it's called, but there's like a light sensitivity in that eye too. So I'm always like squinting just that eye when I'm in the sun, because that's what we're here for, is to talk about my eye. Oh, all right. So the next topic, this is the thumbnail, by the way. I wish I had good peripheral vision. I could see when someone's passing me on a run. I could just be like, "Oh, you're not going to catch me." I won that race. But we had a problem with the Puma Deviate Nitro. This, I'm not using the webcam little device that I have, but there's a little separation anxiety in this Puma Deviate Nitro 2. I was sliding my shoes off, and I use my other foot to do that, where I just put the forefoot into the heel and I slide it off. And then the back heel of the Deviate Nitro 2 separated from that. And so this happened to me once upon a time with the Rebel V2. And I didn't know at the time that I wouldn't say new to running, but newer to running, that you could reach out to the retailer or wherever you got the shoe and you could let them know and get a refund or a replacement. So I was just sulking and being sad about my Rebel V2. And then I mentioned that in a live stream, I think, and Kafuzi's like, "Oh, you should just reach out to them." And then I was like, "Well, you can do that." And then I did that, and then they sent me a new one, even though it had been past the 90 days. I hadn't run in them, obviously, once it separated. And then, so for this Puma, I reached out to Puma, and since I didn't get it off their website, they're like, "Can't help you because we didn't sell that to you." So then I reached out to Fit to Run, and Fit to Run is sold out of these, but I took pictures, sent it to them, and they are going to refund me. I have to send them back today, and then they'll refund me. But now I don't have a daily trainer that's fast, like a fun daily trainer. I do. I have like 1,000 shoes. I'm sure I could run in plenty of other things, but now I have a reason and I have an excuse to get another running shoe, a daily trainer. So I'm on the market, guys. We'll see. We'll see what's out there. I'm on the market. They're already sold out of these, and yeah, it's a good shoe. I really liked it, but I'm not married to getting the same shoe again. Also, if you're new to running, I'm just going to mention this year. I'm going to be working and speaking to and creating content more towards beginning runners, as well as part of the tool belt or the content that I'm creating, because I've been running for 5 years and I didn't know, I knew nothing. And I relied a lot on people on YouTube to who are speaking to me as a beginning runner. And I realized that I don't create a whole lot of content towards or for beginning runners, because I'm like, who am I? I'm not going to tell anybody anything about running. I'm I just started running myself, right? But I think it's experiential in that way. Like, hey, here are some like 101 things that I learned along the way. And one of them was that if you order a shoe, for example, if you order a shoe and it's not the right size, like it's too tight, a lot of times you can send it back or get, like, it seems obvious if you already know that because you're already a runner and you order a lot of shoes. But I didn't know that. So I got into running and I was like, okay, I need a really good pair of running shoes because I want to run fast. I want to run I want to run a fast 5K, faster than I ever have. And I didn't know anything about any of the running brands. This was in 2020. But I remember somehow in my head, Asics was like a fast running shoe company. Like Asics was it. I didn't know why it was there. It was just the story that I had. So I got online and I put in Asics. But I just assumed that Asics only sold fast running shoes. There were no other kinds of running shoes. There were no daily trainers. There were no like recovery day shoes. They just sold fast shoes. Yeah, and I could have Googled or YouTubed, but I didn't know that really was in existence yet at the time. So a highlighter yellow pair of gel cumuluses, I think they were the 22s, popped up. And I was like, wow, okay, this is it. This is how I'm going to run a faster 5K. I'm going to get these. So I spent 120 bucks. I got them, but I didn't know my shoe size. And then I was like, I overthought it, and I pulled out like a thing, was like, oh, well, I was reading, you want to go for race fit, you want to go down a half size. So I got like an 8.5 instead of a 9. So it was too tight. So I got them, and they were also soft. For some reason, when I ran really fast, I couldn't go as fast as I really wanted to. It's really comical, I guess. In retrospect, this is like my 5K racers were these gel cumulus 22s that were too short. But I lived with them. I lived with them in toe pain because I thought that I didn't know that I could have sent it back and been like, hey, this is too small. Can I replace it? And can I get half size up? So that would have saved me 120 bucks because I think eventually I just put them in a garage sale, sold them for $5 or whatever. Like it just never worked out. So, in case you didn't know, you can always reach out to the retailer and see about doing a swap. Unless it's like sometimes they do, like if you buy the New Balance refurbished, whatever they're called, where they're certified by New Balance. Sometimes they're like final sale. If it's a final sale, then that's it, right? All right. Next up, running shoes. I hit 50 miles in the Takumi Sen 10. 80K sounds sexier, doesn't it? Yeah, I hit 80K. And that's almost like the magic number for that Light Strike Pro version for that year. And before that, to soften it, to churn it into butter a little bit. And it's much like the Takumi Sen 8, and I haven't really been able to put a finger on what the little nuance is different. And I know the technical specs is that the Takumi Sen 10 has like the full length carbon rods, that make it more rigid. So I feel like it's snappier at 5K paces, and then it rolls better through threshold runs, and it feels more connected. So it grew in versatility. And I think the only difference is it's like it loses just a slight amount of nimbleness from the previous versions, but it seems to be worth it. I mean, 'cause if I'm considering running a half marathon in it, so I really think it now can do those threshold runs a lot better, especially now that the foam has softened a bit. So I'm excited to possibly take that for the half. I just have to talk myself into not running in the Rocket X2, and that's going to be the hardest conversation I have internally between my regular self and big nuts. All right, next you up, Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro 3. I have a 5-on-5 coming where I know it's a 5-on-5, the first 5 minutes on the first 5 miles in any given shoe. It was a long run, and so it was not 5 miles, but that's coming out Friday. This year, I am trying to post like 2 or 3 times a week consistently, along with the live streams, saturated a little bit more. So I'm bringing the camera on the runs for all my ramblings or whatever, just usually picking a topic. If I'm running in a new shoe, obviously it's going to be about the shoe. And so I don't want to talk necessarily too much about what the shoe is because there's a whole video coming for that. But I will say for those interested, it does feel like the Wave Rebellion Pro 2 Max. That's what it really feels like. And the biggest difference between the two shoes, which I'm holding, is that like where the cliff of the shoe happens, like where the drop is, what I call the fake heel, where there's the most foam under the shoe. It's more towards the back here for the 3 versus the 2. It's a lot more forward. So it changes the ride completely. I don't know. I don't have enough space. I don't have enough room there to show you. But just take my word on it. Not that anyone runs in Mizuno or probably spends $250 plus on Mizuno race day shoes. But if you are a midfoot striker, you should consider it. So, my favorite midfoot striker reviewer, Andrea from the Doctors of Running, she just came out with her list, her shoes. So like I grab my pen and then that's like start writing down like every it's like these are my next shoes that I'm going to buy. In fact, actually that should be my Puma DV8 Nitro 2 replacement. Look at that. She talked about the Brooks Hyperion 2. I was like, you talking to me in the Brooks? Now she likes the Flash too, and the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Flash too, which I put 75 miles on, and I also like it, but it is heavy. She's like raced in it a lot and ran it a lot. I do like it a lot, but it is fast. So, but that's what I'm gonna do. Brooks Hyperion 2. That's got to be the move to replace my Puma DV8 Nitro 2. Anyway, she has a list. She was talking about the shoes that she liked, and then I was like, I'm gonna have to run in all of these, and one of those was that Cloud on Boom Strike. I don't even know how to say it, but then I got sad. I was like, am I gonna have to buy that? Might have to buy it. I might feel better after I run in it. Maybe not. Oh, by the way, guys, I just put out the annual Rundy Awards. And I want to say that I don't include the best company. Someone mentioned like what company people slide into the DMs. You know, when YouTubers are like, people always ask me, oh, it's like nobody's asking you. I always thought like, dude, nobody's asking you questions, dude. Well, people always ask me, like, nobody's you're asking you that. No, people really do ask you a lot of questions. People email questions. People slide in. Maybe I'm too accessible. I don't mind questions. I mean that this live stream eventually is just for questions. Except I'm not the guy with the answers. Hopefully, other people who are here participating can answer. But I do good questions. But one of them was about and some of them are really obscure, the questions, like what's the difference between the Metaspeed Edge Plus, and the Metaspeed Edge Paris? And like that is a Chris Sagasu question right there. Like that's a softball for him. He could just boom, right out the park, home run. And I try to answer all of them. I try to set aside enough time to answer questions and not just like, hey chat, answer all these questions. Like, put a lot of thought into it. But one of the questions was on running shoe companies, like who was the best running shoe company? Because at that time of year, everybody has their annual list. So my man Chris put his 2024 review on shoes, and then he dropped my channel in there, which was very nice of him. And then so did Matt Fox, and in my opinion, to be fair, I paid him an extra $20. Hey Matt, throw me a little bone here. Jokes aside, part of people's annual review are running shoe companies. Which running shoe company was the best? I didn't do that. I did like my 9 top shoes, I did shoes that I didn't really get along with. There was like 3 New Balance shoes. Then I highlighted 3 or 4 shoe YouTube channels that I watch that are smaller than mine. Not a lot to pick from. There's a lot of running shoe company channels that even in this last year, like I last year, the year before, I was like, hey, check out this channel you wanna, and then I could have put in a few more, and I found Sagasu running right after that, and then I was going to put that in my list, but then he surpassed my channel. And then there were a few others too that just like Aubrey, and it was like, "Oh, Aubrey, oh yeah, he's great." Oh, he took off. So anyway, about the running shoe companies. Well, I don't run in enough shoes to be able to answer that question with any validity, because Brooks, for example, they're on the come up. And they had a lot of shoes, and people like those shoes. Hoga's been on the come up too, and I've enjoyed at least the Skyward X a bit, and I've heard the Cielo X1's great. I love the Rocket X2, even though that was the year prior. But I just don't run in enough shoes, and I can theoretically talk about it. Like Adidas, we can't talk about Adidas because all of their shoes. I and to get into the weeds, the minutia. What is the? I don't know. To get into some sort of cliche, pick your favorite cliche. The timeline of releases, people included the Nova Blast 4 in some of their annual reviews, and then some the Nova Blast 5 because it had a December release. It's like, well, yeah, but you put in 17 miles into a shoe that came out in December, and all of a sudden it's on your top list. Can December just go into the next year? Because I don't know, like the Adios 9 is just coming out right now, I think, or maybe it's 2025. The Evo SL had an early release, but it's really coming out everywhere in March. And then the Adios Pro 4 had one colorway hit in December, but the big colorway in January. So it's like Adidas is really set up for 2025. So I wouldn't consider them 2024, but that's a company that where I would try to run in most older shoes. Same thing with Asics, but I can't run in all of them. So one of the goals for 2025 is to grow from a content creator standpoint, is to post more 2 or 3 times a week, to do these live streams also with the focus on running shoes, because that has always been a segment of the channel, part of the channel, a slice of the pie. By the way, guys, in the personality pie chart department, I just want to let you know that my slice of humility is a little bit bigger than everybody else's, and that's and I just feel bad for everybody else. That joke has never gotten a laugh. I still say it. I don't care. Pano says, "Are those shoes also good for walking?" Still your favorite question. Yeah. It is never the same guy. It's always somebody different. They're like, Walking shoes. Is that one walking?" And I'm still like, dude, just Vomero. The Vomero is a great walking shoe. And the Brooks Ghost. But that's Kafuzi's answer. I say the Brooks Hyperion, the first one, because I used to like to walk in that one, and I still have it. It's just I have too many shoes, but I've been walking in like my gym shoes, the Vomero 16 that I got for like $40 off someplace. And I will say, yeah, the Vomero is plush, great. If you're listening, my man, and you want to know what is the best walking shoe, it is the Nike Vomero. To my knowledge, the 16 is much like the 17. You'll get the ground contact. You'll have all of the outsole coverage you could ever possibly want, and you'll have a fat little tongue. It was very plush, very nice. Stevie76 says, "What if Kevin Spacey sends you a running shoe question?" um, what's in the box? I don't think I'll answer that one. We might have to pass. Soft pass, not a hard pass. All right. Yeah, so anyway, my whole point with the running shoe companies is that one of the goals of 2025 is then to establish contact with running shoe companies. So to see if because I can't afford to run in all of them, but I would like to. And if I don't, I don't. And then I'm going to continue to do deeper reviews. So I'm coming up on 200 miles for the Metaspeed Edge pairs, 200 miles for the Hoka Skyward X. So I'm going to start doing the 200, the 300, the 1,000-mile reviews and go deeper with shoes if those are the only shoes I got. So shout out to Mizuno. Thanks for sending me those shoes. They did send me the Wave Rebellion Pro 3, and I am going to get my hands on the Zen and, do more detailed full reviews of those as well, rather than just like a quick little number. But if I had to guess what is the best running shoe company this last year, I even though I just told you I'm not qualified to say it, I can still have my own dang opinions about it. I would say Puma. I think I heard Believe in the Run talking about it, and maybe I missed it, but it's possible that they talked about Puma and at the beginning, and then they didn't talk about it after that. But I would say Puma because they really stepped it up with the Fast Star and the DV8 Nitro Elite. So like they're two racers, and then also the DV8 Nitro 3. I think Chris Sags who hated that shoe, but I think it was Kafuti's favorite shoe. I really liked the DV8 Nitro 2. And so I imagine the 3 would be good. And the Mag Max looks like a great time. So I'm thinking Puma would be my guess. But Stevie76 is in here with an update. Oh, thank God. Thank God. UT14, ASU3. How in the hell did ASU get 3 points? I'm just kidding. That is fantastic news. That's really anybody in Texas would probably already watching the game. I probably should get to it. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up for that for today, our inaugural. I don't think there's going to be a Saturday live stream. It feels like Saturday. I'm like, why is it not Saturday? UT is playing. It's Saturday. It's Wednesday. Saturday, we will not be having a live stream. I thought this the whole time it was Saturday today. I don't know what I'm doing. But then we will resume next Wednesday with these live streams. I'll continue to plug them on the other channel as well. It'll be like my Sepwell app. It's just like the thing I never stop talking about. So we get more people in here. I appreciate all of you guys coming in who could make it. And then if you're listening to this later and not live, I hope you're having a great run and you're set on your goals for 2025. Please hop in the comments and let me know because I am really curious if you know what running shoe you're gonna run your race in when you sign up for the race. So thanks for stopping in and hook 'em.